In this game, greatness is measured by the moments that defy the odds, the crack of the bat, the roar of the bleachers, and the rare perfect sequence of excellence. From the first pitch to the final out, we aren't just watching the game, we're breaking it down. From the Empty the Bench Network, it's time for you to step into the box. You are hitting for the cycle. And now, here's your hosts, Ben Kruse, David Waitman, and Ryan Touhey.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Finish This Cycle. I'm your host, Ben Kruse, alongside my two co-hosts, named Miller and Ryan Touhey. Guys, how are we doing tonight?
Doing all right. It's good to be back. I was out last week. I was back down the Jersey Shore. I was in the Long Beach Islands, so got some more beach time down there. Did a lot of swimming, and it was nice and relaxing. But it always stinks to leave the beach. But it's good to be back on the show talking about baseball nonetheless.
Yeah, Ryan, we welcome you back. It's like musical chairs I feel like I'm working with every week. You know, David obviously was here last week. He's at a concert tonight. And Nate, you're back for another week. So how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. My team's season's probably over. Season's over for us, basically. We've hit that point of the season. We've hit that kind of stretch. So keeping up with the scores, still watching the games, but not with any hopes or aspirations really for October baseball. So in terms of my team, that's been the shift. But in regards to literally everything else, cannot complain.
Yeah, cannot complain. We got a packed show tonight, folks, and we got a lot of big news, including a big breaking news regarding our network that I will mention as well, too, and it's thanks to you guys. But before, of course, we get into everything, folks, make sure, of course, to follow us on all of our socials down here below on Hitting for the Cycle. Make sure to subscribe to the Empty the Bench Network on YouTube, youtube.com/ETB Network. Follow us across social media at HFTC. ETB. Make sure to follow the Empty the Bench Podcast Network across social media at ETB Network. Make sure to follow me at BCruz90, Ryan at R2E97, David at Waitman Stats, and Nate _Miller Time. Now, folks, I mentioned in terms of a big announcement, and I want to make that announcement now because if you guys, of course, weren't aware in terms of what our network was focusing on, was to get to a massive milestone for our network, and it's our watch hours. And a big thing is that we got the big watch hour mark, at least the starting watch hour mark that we wanted at 3,000. We want to thank everybody for that. The Empty the Bench Network is pleased to announce that the network has surpassed 3,000 watch hours on YouTube, and we cannot thank everybody, the viewers, enough for your outstanding support in making this milestone happen. Thanks to the viewers like you guys. In the coming days and next week, we will be rolling out a few details about our super chats, super stickers, super thanks, channel membership, tiers, perks, merch store, and so much more. We thank you guys once again for the support on the ETB Network programming. And now our next milestone is going to be 4,000. So we are not done, but obviously we are thankful for you guys. And we obviously, as a network, want to just keep this overall rolling. But this was a big milestone, guys, that we wanted to have. I want to thank Nick, I want to thank Callan for kind of leading the charge. I want to thank everybody at least here with the network. And I want to just say we aren't done, and especially for at least in terms of our show. We're going to just keep on rolling here. So that's awesome stuff that I obviously wanted to announce. And what I also, of course, want to announce is what our rundown is going to be like for our show. So, of course, your team reports, the Field of Dreams game that is playing as we speak. And then a couple other things, including a chaotic game in my game between the Red Sox and Blue Jays are on this week. Something you don't see very often in baseball. Adley Rutschman made his debut for the Sox earlier this week. And speaking of Field of Dreams game, there's a player, Ryan, I obviously don't want to tell the player because, of course, that happened during your game during Field of Dreams. But there was a certain player that retired from the White Sox this week as well too. So we're gonna get everything, of course, into it. So let's, of course, not run too much more time. So, of course, your team reports. Ryan, I guess I'll go first with you because, of course, you obviously weren't with us last week. So obviously with your Yanks, I'll let you go. Take it away. Obviously, if you want to have a kind of a quick recap of last week, by all means. But as usual, the 3 minute checkpoint is usually the time to do it. So just do what you can, man.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna try and squeeze this within the 3 minute time frame. So last time I was on, I think I mentioned how the Yankees were in the midst of a 10-game road trip, and they were finishing up a 4-game set with the White Sox in Chicago, and they ended up splitting that series. They moved on to Wrigley Field to take on the Cubs, and they ended up taking 2 out of 3 from there, despite really not hitting much at all there. But their pitching continues to dazzle. So after taking 2 out of 3 from the Cubs at Wrigley Field, they returned to Yankee Stadium for a 9-game homestand, which featured 2 interleague matchups. The first with the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Yankee offense, again, was really a no-show for most of the series. Actually, besides the first game, Cam Schuler had a dreadful start in the first game. And the Cardinals quickly jumped out to, I believe, like a 7-2 lead or something, or 6-2 lead or something like that. Or a 6-0 lead, and the Yankees came all the way back to take a 7-6 lead, thanks in part to newcomer Garcia. I keep forgetting his first name.
Luis
Garcia off the top of my head. Yeah, he had a go-ahead 2-run home run, or no, he had a game-tying home run to tie the game for the Yankees to come all the way back. But the bullpen and Angel Shavidi just completely flushed it down the toilet the next inning, and I think the Yankees lost that first game by the score of 14-7. They won the next game by the score of 2-0, I believe. I think that game was on August the 4th. Yes, they won the next game August 4th by the score of 2-0 behind the great pitching of Ryan Weathers. But then they lost the finale by the score of 3-1. So they ended up dropping 2 out of 3 to the Cardinals at Yankee Stadium. Really not acceptable. And the offensive struggles continued in the first game against the Atlanta Braves, who came into Yankee Stadium for a weekend series. But the Yankees barely pulled a rabbit out of a hat in the first game and won it in extra innings 3-2 on a walk-off sacrifice fly by Ryan McMahon. Yankees had no business winning that game, but they did. And then the second game of that series had a little bit of controversy. The Yankees won by the score of 5-4, but really what was kind of bizarre in that game was the umpires, for some reason, called a balk on Chris Sale. I don't understand where the balk was, to be honest with you, and I'm speaking as an unbiased. I'm being unbiased here. I don't know where the balk was. But regardless, I don't think that really would have made a difference because the next guy who batted, who I believe was Austin Wells, hit a double. So that would have scored the run that was brought in from the park anyway. So one way or the other didn't necessarily make a difference. Oh, yeah, George Lombard made his major league debut during his homestand against the Cardinals, and he had a home run in his major league debut. So congrats to George Lombard. A lot of high expectations for this kid. Maybe this kid will dazzle at shortstop for the foreseeable future. I mean, he's already showing some skill with the glove. So he hit 2 home runs in the homestands. The Yankees won the second game against the Cardinals. They won the second game against the Rays 5-4, and they lost the finale. And then they played the Mariners this week and took 2 out of 3 from the Mariners, including a wild comeback 10-5 win on Wednesday night. So that's basically how the Yankees have been doing, despite not having Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, or Cody Bellinger in the lineup, and their offense continuing to stink. This is one of the worst offenses I've ever seen in my lifetime as a Yankee fan, yet somehow they're 15 games above 500. I don't know how that's possible. They're not winning the division, but they'll go to the playoffs, but I don't really have many expectations for them.
Ryan, really quick, too, for the audience that's watching. Who are the Yankees have coming up? Very quick.
They're going to Toronto this weekend.
It's going to be a tough team. We're just playing this overall week. Nate, I guess I'll have you go next if you want to kind of start releasing on the Pirates.
I mean, yeah, 3 minutes is more than enough time to recap this because, I mean, there's barely even that much to talk about, honestly. I'll give you the quick rundown, but it's not that exciting, not that meaningful. So I said going into this week, we would either need to go 5-1 or 6-0 in the Mets for me to still think we had a chance to do anything this year, and we most certainly did not. We lost game 1 in the Mets 6-4. Carmen Majinski did not pitch great. There was a bit of a rain delay in that game in about the third inning, and when they came out after that is when he gave up 4 runs. So that hurt. You can blame the rain delay a little bit if you want to, but this team has just been playing so mediocre lately that it's like that would just be an excuse. So that was that game. Then we won 9-0. We dominated. Bubba Chandler got a win. We had a fantastic game. Offense looked like, hey, like we might be back, might be able to get it going. And then we lost 11-1 the very next afternoon. Sean Mania destroyed us. Jared Jones got shelled. Then we got an off day, and then we head to a series in Miami where we lose by a score of 2-0 in the first game. And then in the second game, we lose by the score of 2-8. Paul Skeens was terrible again. Yep. He sucks this year. He's injured. He has to be. He got pulled after 65 pitches, and he didn't touch 97. I mean, I talked about it a little bit on Give and Takes, actually, and maybe a little bit on here as well. Way back, I think like end of June, early July. I think it was like right after July 4th, I might have talked about it.
You talked about
he's got to be injured. Like something's up. This doesn't just happen.
Really quick, Nate, sorry to cut you off. Did he ask to get pulled? I didn't watch the game, or did
I don't believe so. I mean, from what I saw, because I didn't watch this game either, because at this point, after the 11-1 and 2-0 loss, I was just so disgruntled with this team, and I knew Paul Skeens was going to have a game like this. I just didn't even bother thinking of turning on the television. But I believe, from what I saw, he was pretty upset about it. Like, he had a statement in a press conference afterwards, I believe, where he was like, yeah, you'll see guys, like, get upset and complain after being pulled after only 65 pitches. So I don't know what's going on. I feel like he has to be injured. Maybe he's out of shape, too. He doesn't look like he's the most in-shape human being, but that's never really mattered for some pitchers. I mean, you can be a big guy like CC Sabathia and still dominate. So you can't fully blame it on out of shape. I think it's an arm injury, but the Paul Skeens woes continue. I think you should just shut him down at this point. Like, you got no hope for the season. Just figure it out. But then today, a bright spot. We won 13-1. If you've noticed, the Pirates offense goes away for 2 games every series and then has 1 game where they put up double-digit runs. That's kind of our offense right now. We go 2-4 over this stretch. Absolutely abysmal, terrible. We're 5 games under 500 right now. It's bad. But Braxton Ashcraft today, complete game. 10 Ks on 85 pitches. Insanely efficient. Just had a great game today. He's been a consistent bright spot in this lineup. He obviously has had his starts that weren't so great, but every pitcher except basically the Cy Young favorites seem to be that way every year. So promising year for the Pirates. Just kind of year in review, I guess I'll say real quick, and because I'm mentally like season's over at this point. It took us until mid-August to be out and while we won't mathematically be out for a lot longer, which is even nicer. Like, we'll still be hanging around, but in terms of like mentally and feasibly, like being out in August, we made it past the trade deadline. Whatever the next season we play is, whether it be 2027 or 2028, I think this team will make the right moves to put themselves back in a position, because if we have a good bullpen, we probably have 15 more wins in the early part of the season than we did, and that kind of counteracts this poor stretch that we're through right now. It would even out a little bit better rather than taking us so far below 500. So exciting year, disappointing at the same time, hopeful for the next 2 years.
Well, Nate,
I just need to quickly ask you, how are you liking Camilo Doval?
I actually haven't hated him. Like, he's been okay.
Well, this
kickoff?
Huh?
Did you see that kickoff he had a couple of days ago?
I don't believe I did, actually. No, there have been
really. Oh wow.
I'll have to look at it, but dude, there have just been like, it's so hard to just like, I cannot watch this team. There are 2 things that happen. They either put up a bunch of runs and it's uncompetitive and they give up barely any, or the other team scores a low amount of runs, which this team can easily get because we see what this offense can do, and they just painfully struggle to get any motion on the base paths. Like, they cannot get both sides of the ball to work in the same game.
Yeah.
Like, ever when it matters. It's just only, it's 13-1, it's 11-0, it's 9-0. Like, Yeah, man, it's just so frustrating. It's ugh.
I know the feeling, Nate. I do. I'll go to the Sox. So the Sox, obviously, last Thursday when Nate was on, the Sox were still in the middle of their streak going on because they obviously after the 15-gamer, they had another one going on. And Nate and Ryan, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw this one, but the Red Sox had one of the most insane, I've been obviously a fan my whole life, but in terms of just coming back left and right, five times they came back. And this was a game already when they won the series, so it's like, all right, whatever. And I don't know how they did it. They came back. They ended up winning this game. It went to 13 innings. I just told my brother after watching the 10th inning, I'm like, I don't care at this rate. Just make it end. Make it end. And the Sox are like, no. You're going to keep watching. They finally pulled it out, and I told my brother, I said, man, something's happening. Something's brewing. So they got that eighth win after I talked to you, Nate. And then we go to the A's series. They won the first game 13-1. I'm like, all right, this is kind of what I'm expecting. Second game, the streak got broken up. Just wasn't the game. It was kind of whatever. The Sunday game was a little more frustrating because they had a 3-2 lead. Garrett Whitlock blew it in the eighth inning, and then Aroldis Chapman. That's just kind of, bottom of the A's order. 2 outs, gave a hit to Lincoln Williams, and then a hit to Max Muncy. No, this is not the Max Muncy of the Dodgers. This is the Max Muncy of the A's. And the Red Sox had a chance. They didn't come out, and the Oakland Athletics not only won the series, but they broke our series streak. It was at 9. So some streaks were lost, but that's baseball, right? It was going to happen eventually. And now, of course, you go 4 games to Toronto, which a place where we do not fare well, but we had to kind of figure something out. And, man, this was brutal. This was kind of hard to watch. I'm not going to lie. The Jays have just kind of really had our number. Lost 2-1 on Monday, lost 5-3 on Tuesday. We actually had a lead 3-1 in that game. We had some inflicted errors. 6-4 yesterday. And then today, I wanted to come on here before this show tonight, guys, and just hope that the Red Sox at least do not get swept. And I know it's kind of a low bar, but we got the Pirates this weekend, a team that's and Nate, I mean,
best team in the league. I take it all back. We're gonna crush you.
I don't want to use you guys as like a motive. I mean, Ryan, of course, is with the Yankees and been playing the Sox. A lot of times it's like kind of not like our turning point, but like, kind of getting ourselves back on track. I mean, of course, winning that game today was great. 7-0. That kind of looked like one of the team wins that we had from the streak. Peyton Touhey was fantastic. 8 innings. Only had 4 strikeouts. I think with the Blue Jays, and Ryan, of course, can attest to this because they're in the division. Pitchers should not be trying to strike the Blue Jays out. They're just a bat to ball type of team. They're going to babbage you left and right. This is a team that you just have to go and attack. And Vladdy Jr. is not the same player. He's just not. And I don't know what it is. I thought it was funny for Greg Weiss to strike him out to finish the game today. That was really, really funny to see. But the Blue Jays still are a team to watch. They owned us this year. The A's kind of owned us this year too. I know, of course, we took 3 to 4 games there, but every single game was close. But one thing I'll say about the Sox is every single loss they have, I think, recently, even though they look like crap, is they literally will be right there at the end. Like, they'll at least be like, all right, we have a chance. We didn't get it done. So that just kind of tells you kind of what the type of team they are. They're just going to keep on going. Roman Anthony looks like he's going to be coming back. We don't know yet when. So that's good. Garrett Crochet looks like he's been throwing. So that's good as well, too. And Adley Rutschman, we'll talk about in a little bit, also made his debut this week. So that is my team report. We got the Pirates, and then we have the D-backs and Giants coming to Fenway next week. So obviously, hopefully the Sox can get themselves back and rolling. We are still in the second wild card right behind the Yankees. But that's it. So
you might put up 15 against Paul Skeens.
Well, I don't know if Paul Skeens is going to pitch on Sunday. That's the thing.
True. He is slated to, but it'll be interesting.
Because you know what? I mean, that's the game. We have Patrick Sandoval. Patrick Sandoval's a hard watch. So if there's a game you guys might win, it might be the Sunday game.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Also, I did forget to mention it, and not that it matters, but the Pirates, as you said, obviously, we have the Red Sox coming up, and then afterwards, it is the Detroit Tigers.
Ooh. It's a little tough. I mean, the magic number, Nate, though, if you guys keep us within 4 or less runs, you guys will win games. That's the biggest thing. If we have more runs, we're kind of a wagon. Ryan, you're going to say something?
Yeah, just a quick prediction that I have for this weekend. You know how Vladdy still has 9 homer at the Rogers Center this year?
Yes.
Yankees are coming to town. I guarantee you this is when he's going to break that streak.
All right. Well, we'll see.
He's going to do it on Friday, too, I bet.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Even though he didn't get a home run against them the first time they faced him, I know for a freaking fact he's licking his chops when the Yankees are in town.
He did have a couple. It did a couple have warning track fly balls during this week. I'm like, oh boy. Like I was like, oh, like so. It's like one of these. It's like eventually he's gonna get out. It's crazy.
And it's gonna be.
All right, really quickly, we can go maybe about a minute at best. The Field of Dreams games is tonight. I know, of course, we don't have to go way too much into it. I just want to say this. I really do support this. I do think next year they're going to have it once again if there's a season. I doubt, of course. But it's obviously played in Iowa. I don't know what the score is, but obviously it involves David's team. So obviously if David is here, maybe he'd be talking a little bit more about
Philly.
5-1 Phillies. And Kyle Schwarber hit a leadoff homer into the cornfield.
2 homers.
What, 2?
Hit another one.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, he's starting to cook a little bit. Ron, I want to ask you this. I know, of course, you guys, of course, played in one of the recent ones. Really quickly, did you like did you like this type of game with your Yanks, or is it just kind of like whatever?
I think it's a pretty cool gimmick game that they do during the regular season. I mean, I really think that they set that field up tremendously. It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the movie Field of Dreams. And I really think it's just a pretty cool tribute that they decided to do for the movie. It's unique. And, I don't really necessarily have a problem with it other than, I guess, the only problem, I guess, that I have with this game is that these games in these designated locations, they tend to be very high scoring. The balls tend to fly out of these stadiums, man-made structures, much more easily. So, you can either get a very high back and forth quality game, or you can also get a pretty lousy blowout. So I guess it's kind of a pick your poison, essentially. But overall, I like the concept.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a place where, the Sox end up playing there ever. Like, it'd be kind of a bucket list place to kind of go see eventually outside the Hall of Fame. So I just want to quickly have that really quickly for you all. That's playing right now. Like Nate mentioned, it's 5-1 as we speak. Of course, we'll keep you updated later on the show. All right, Adley Rutschman making his Sox debut this week. I know Ryan, obviously your Yanks, of course, we're in the market for him. Really quickly, because, of course, you were on last week. Do you think the Sox overpaid a little bit too much for this guy, or do you think it was kind of like you kind of just got the player for the prospects? For me, it's like prospects are prospects at the end of the day, and I think for the Sox, they got a boost here with Rutschman. But in your sake of things, because the Yankees were in on him, did you want the Yanks to get Rutschman if it got to a potential chance?
Well, I just wanted the Yankees to get another catcher regardless.
Yeah.
I would have taken Jorge Posada out of retirement over Austin Wells. Because Wells is just dreadful this year. It's been so painful to watch. So, I was fine with them. I would have probably preferred Rutschman over everybody, honestly. I thought he was probably the best option considering his, experience playing in the American League East. I was kind of surprised that the Orioles dealt him to a division rival in Boston. Now they're going to be facing him, and that's always a risk of trading within your division. But like you said, the Red Sox did give up a lot to get Rutschman, and with the American League being very weak this year, even though the Red Sox are still a good distance away from Tampa for first in the division. I still think for the most part, anybody can make noise in the postseason, and adding Rutschman, even though he hasn't really been, the same player he was when he first bursted onto the scene, he's still a threat in my opinion. I think there's more in the tank that he has yet to find. Definitely. I think it was kind of, people were saying that he was washed up and that he was never going to live up to his to the hype that he had when he was first introduced with. I don't know if he'll ever reach, the hype levels that they initially had for him. Right. But I still think he's a solid ball player. I just think he was just I just think he just was really struggling and maybe going through some injuries. I mean, playing a very demanding position. I think that for the Red Sox, it's definitely a risk. I'm not saying that this is that it was absolutely the
extend him. That's the thing. We got to extend him for this to work.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm the Red Sox, got to lock him up for a couple more years. And I mean, you're getting him in his prime, so better get that done relatively soon. So we'll see. I mean, do I think that it was a wise move by the Red Sox? Honestly, the way I see it, why not?
Right. Yeah. Prospects don't lead, to a lot of things for I want championships, and Craig Breslow has not made a move like this in his whole tenure. So he's kind of like saying, all right, let's go for it, because we're in the mix. The American League stinks. And now Adley Rutschman's in my lineup, which is, of course, awesome to see. He did play 2 games. He had his first hit, I believe it was on Tuesday. And there's another thing, too, and Ryan, of course, can attest to this, and Nate, of course. Adley Rutschman, of course, knows his division. So that's another thing, too, is not only he's coming to my baseball team, but if you keep him for the long term, he, I think, could be really good for a lot of the young pitchers. He calls a very good game. He's a switch hitter, which Craig Breslow absolutely loves. If you're a switch hitter or you have good pull side power as a righty, Craig Breslow is going to sign it. That's kind of the bottom line. That's kind of the trend that I've been seeing. So it's great to see Adley in there. He's wearing 31, I'm pretty sure the number that he's wearing. So that's awesome to see. And so it's great to see. And he'll be making his home debut on Monday against the D-backs. It should be a really good welcome sign for Adley, especially if Roman's coming back. That just makes the lineup a lot deeper. And Franklin Arias had another homer in AAA. And he's going to be, George Lombard Jr. obviously came up for the Yankees. That's essentially our George Lombard Jr., Ryan, if he comes up. Hopefully he'll come up in September because that kid has a lot of tools. And I know it's obviously asking a lot. When you have a good lineup, though, you don't have a lot of pressure on. Okay. Tim Anderson. He's calling a career. How old was Tim Anderson, guys? I really did not remember. I feel like he's still like
33, I think.
I was going to say 34.
34. All right. So he played from 2016 to 2025. He was with the White Sox from 2016 to 2023. Played 1 year with the Marlins, 24, and then finished off the Angels in 25. Obviously, his best years were with the White Sox. Obviously, he had that iconic homer, and Ryan, I had to burst your bubble here. But he had the walk-off against you guys in the Field of Dreams game. This was a good player. This is obviously a good, leadoff hitter. Power he wasn't like best with, but of course he can make contact. And obviously,
he had pop in his early years. His early years, I felt like he had some decent pop, but he just kind of lost it a little bit.
Yeah, so his highest in pop was 2018. He had 20. He didn't have any more homers than 20. He had 20. He had 17 in 21. He had 18 in 2019 and 17. He had in 2017 he had 17. So it was kind of that number. He was more of a Luis Ariz type from the right hand side, a guy that will just put the ball on the barrel. Guys like Jose Abreu, who I thought was going to be the next biggest thing, by the way. Jose Abreu, my God, what a fallout that guy was. Yeah. But yeah, just a good player. Obviously the fight with Jose Ramirez, you cannot forget about that. Down
goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson.
Yes. So that's my overall thoughts. Tim Anderson, wish you well. I don't know what else you're going to be having up. Maybe just kind of just doing his own thing and just kind of figuring himself out next. But congrats to Tim Anderson. You guys have any quick thoughts about that?
Yeah, just a bizarre fall off. Really just very, very quickly and dramatically. I mean, Anderson was a solid ball player for the first couple of years of his career. Won a batting title with the White Sox in 2019. Could hit for average. Nate mentioned, he had a little bit of pop, not too much, but he put the bat on the ball. He was a pretty solid contact hitter. And obviously, like you mentioned, Ben had that very dramatic walk-off home run against Zach Britton and the Yankees. Fun fact, I was watching that game live, And as soon as he came to the plate, I said he's going to hit a walk-off home run because I'm used to the Yankees not winning special games. So, of course, he hit the home run. And then really everything just started going south for him the following year, really beginning with that bizarre altercation with Josh Donaldson in May of 2022. When Donaldson made that remark. I won't get into that stupid thing, but that happened in 22. Then he struggled to stay healthy. Then he gets punched in the mouth by Jose Ramirez in 23. Continues to struggle to stay on the field. Then goes to the Marlins in 24, and then the Angels in 25, and is nowhere close to the player he was with the White Sox, and now he's hung it up. So just what a weird career. A very weird, abrupt ending to a guy who looked like he had the potential to be a really good ball player for years. And now he's done at 33.
That's
crazy.
an interesting case with like a lot of White Sox players from that era. I feel like you look at like Jose Abreu went from MVP to irrelevant, and with Tim Anderson, you can say the same about Luis Robert Jr. We all remember the flash in the pan of Yermin Mercedes, Eloy Jimenez.
Yoan Moncada.
Yeah, Yoan Moncada too. He was going to be the next one I said. Like all those guys were so good for like 3 years and then just all got like terrible. I mean, I remember Eloy Jimenez was on the Orioles for like 3 days or something. And then they were like, nah, we're done with you. Like,
yeah,
that guy had a big fall off too.
Yeah. So it just kind of shows you in this league, it's hard. I mean, obviously, even the best of them, you look back. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten myself into just a big collection of cards. I mean, I got a whole set right next to me as we speak right now of all these Sox when I went to the last game. So I've been loving the card collecting business once again. But yeah, no, just it's kind of crazy, like you mentioned.
I think if there's one thing that I could take away from Tim Anderson's career is that sometimes some guys are too flashy for their own good.
I agree.
You draw a lot of parallels to Jazz Chisholm Jr. potentially too.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jazz's career goes like this, to be honest with you.
No, like it's like now that you say that, I mean, he hasn't been punched in the mouth by a division rival yet. I'm not sure if he's on track for that to happen. But in other terms, when you kind of think about it, I do see a lot of parallels between him and Tim Anderson's career.
Yankee fans want to punch him in the mouth, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he's more likely to get punched by someone wearing his own colors rather than someone else's.
So yeah.
All right. So that being said, that's it. Now, this part is one of my favorite parts of the show, not only just because it's regarding one of my teams, but Nate, I want to ask you, because I talked to Ryan about this off the air. Did you see what happened in one of the games early on this week between the Sox and Jays and having a 4-out rule into effect?
I did, and it was so just – it was bizarre. It was one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen or read about happening in a baseball game, and it's one of those things that it's tough to kind of even make heads or tails of it, like, while you're reading it. Like, you can't read it and fully comprehend what happened. Like, you kind of just need to see it, and even then it's confusing. I mean – like, they just got to run. Like, they got to, like, I don't know how that counted as a run. I mean, it did. They went to the rules. They talked about it. That's how it goes. That's how it went down as. But, man, and it's always something when these two teams play each other. I remember way back in the day, there was this, like, lineup issue that delayed the start of a Red Sox Jays game by, like, almost an hour. Like, stuff just happens when the Sox play the Jays.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna just try to see really quick if I can get any footage from it. So obviously, as I'm getting that, Ryan, really quickly, anything you want to say about this?
Yeah, even in the days of instant replay, Major League Baseball always finds a way to make you scratch your head. No matter what year, no matter what day and age it is, the day of technology, instant replay, whatever it may be, you cannot escape a moment like this where you're just baffled and you don't even know what to say, and you just ask, what the hell did I just watch? There's always going to be something like this throughout the course of Major League Baseball. I am fully convinced, no matter how much Major League Baseball tries to put into making sure that calls go right, you're always going to have moments like this where you just don't even know what to say. And it was just a really, like, Nate said it best, bizarre. You don't really see this. You're not supposed to see this. This is stupid. So, yeah.
Like, I would have provided more details on the actual play if I was better able to still make sense of what happened. Like,
yeah, it's a little
such like a weird, like, because of just people already being stupid on the field, that led to a run being scored. And it's like, how does you just don't believe things like this can happen in the sport? Like, but there are no redos in sports. If something happens and it goes, you have to play it. Like, you can't just be like, no, set them up again.
So I want to, John Boy Media, who does a lot of like just wacky stuff. Of course, you guys, of course, will know him. He did a breakdown, and I have like a quick short video of kind of the lead in terms of this overall thing. I might not get into everything, but at least for the 180 people, and I do appreciate, of course, watching, I want to at least kind of give you guys a quick snippet of kind of what they talk about regarding this play. So let's give a listen.
Stop and no, okay. He picked it, hit the dirt. They threw to second to get the force out. 1 out on the play, but after that play, the scoreboard reads 2 outs. Now, the very next pitch is put in play, and on the top right here, you can see that they change it mid-play. And the 2 runners in green here, they thought there were 2 outs, so they just take off, which gives the Blue Jays a very easy double play. Like, hey, Vladdy says, yeah, throw it to me. Bam. Umpire says, out. Coach is pretty disappointed in their players. There's 1 out. Gotta be kidding. You can see him looking at the first base coach like, what's going on, dude? Fuck, man. And the first base coach is like, 1 out? I was all over it. Now, Siegler, the runner who scored, he's confused. Wait, what? What are you guys saying? I didn't score? What's going on? Looks at the dugout control and says, there was 1 out. Yeah. You guys botched it. It's all right. Now, the umpire, he confuses everyone.
Oh, this is...
So what we have here, when the 3rd out was made at first base with the runner not tagging up, the runner that was on 3rd base also did not tag up, crossed home plate before the 3rd out was made at first base. So that is a kind play. We are going to New York to do a rules check.
They doubled you off. If they were to double there, wouldn't matter. But they doubled you off. So, okay. Siegler is correct. The first way for none of this to happen was the scoreboard doesn't get it wrong. The second way none of this happens is that the first pitch, while the scoreboard is wrong, doesn't get put in play. The third way that none of this happens is if the Blue Jays throw it to the correct base. You had a base runner on first and a base runner on third. Now the ball is hit in the air all the way to the outfield. These guys just take off. Right. And the first out is made up here. Out number 1 on the play, out number 2 in the inning. When the ball gets thrown in, if they throw this ball.
All right. Do you guys want to keep going?
I mean, I didn't even realize that's how crazy it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
it at least took about 15 minutes before they.
You know what scenario I got that mixed up with was, did you see in the Angels game earlier this week that the 3rd base coach, I can't remember if it was for the Angels or who they were playing, touched his runner on the back when he was going to score and go home, which you're not allowed to do. So it would have been an out, but the Angel, whatever team it affected, the run, whichever team the run was scored on, they lost their challenge in the top of the first, and it was the bottom of the first inning when they happened. So because they had no challenge, that run just got to score. So that's even more weirdness that happened this week.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ryan, I hopefully at least like he did a pretty good job, I think, describing it. I mean, obviously we didn't get the whole thing, but the people watching, that was at least just a snippet of what was transpiring. And for me, like the Red Sox during the stretch, a little bit early in the stretch of the week, had a hard time scoring runs. I'm just like, they're about to score. Like, I'm just like, it just made no sense. Yeah. Yeah, that was during a baseball game this week, folks. That's all I'll
You
say.
think that scoreboard operator knew he was going to be a part of history when he woke up for work that day?
Oh man, yeah.
You think he still has his job?
Me, I don't
Do
know.
you lose your job for messing something up like that? Because he did
If it's
say
the
he
World
changed
Series-
it back mid-play.
If it was the World Series last year, surely. But
Oh yeah,
100%.
true.
Yeah, no, like Game 7, what was going on in the close one? It was one thing maybe if like the game was out of reach, but regardless in terms of the circumstance, yeah, that happened, and that was chaos. That was pure chaos. That happened. So I want, of course, to give you guys, the people watching as well too, if you have any comments in general about anything that we have talked about as well too, by all means, feel free to put in the comments. I'll make sure to read it at the end before we get out of here. So yeah. All right. Really quick, guys. Tariq Skubal made his home debut with the LA Dodgers. Yippee, right? Nobody asked. But yes, he made his debut against the Royals. I think he went 5 innings. I think 5 runs. No, not 5 runs. 5 to 6 strikeouts. We actually did have a comment regarding about this, so I'll make sure to read it at the end. But yeah, I mean, Tariq Skubal still being in LA is just it's insane to me. I'm not surprised by it at all, which is that. But like when he's wearing the LA Dodger colors, I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like every year, it's somebody new. But then of course they got Blake Snell back from injury. He pitched the other day, so yeah, Tariq Skubal is now with the Dodgers, and obviously, he, of course, has had 2 starts, 2 subpar starts, but I mean, he'll be fine regarding that. Well, we have a little bit of time. Ryan, I want to ask you this, because, of course, you were on our show last week. In terms of the trade deadline for the Yankees, what would you give the deadline for you guys regarding in terms of a grade?
D plus.
D plus?
I think Garcia is a good pickup.
Mhm.
I think he's a nice addition to the offense. But other than that, I mean, what else did the Yankees do? They got Elliot Ramos from San Francisco, and he's been completely useless since donning the pinstripes. It's basically the offensive version of Camilo Doval when he joined the Yankees from the Giants last year. He's doing nothing. I mean, you look at this Yankee offense, it's incredibly thin without Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton and Cody Bellinger. And, I mean, there's definitely talent on the Yankees roster with some of these guys like Lombard and Spencer Jones who are showing some promise. But, I mean, other than that, you look up and down that lineup, so many guys are hitting below 220. So I think 6 or 7 guys are hitting below 220. It's a very one-dimensional lineup that, again, relies heavily on hitting home runs. I really wanted the Yankees to do more at the deadline. I wanted them to get Luis Ariz. I thought that was the biggest piece that they were missing, a contact leadoff guy who they haven't had in forever. I was very disappointed that they at least – I don't know if they were – I think they were talking with the Giants. I'm sure the Giants were asking a lot for Ariz, understandably so. I mean – whenever baseball comes back from the lockouts, I want the Yankees to offer Ariz a contract regardless. I'm sick and tired of seeing so many guys hitting as low as the Yankees have guys hitting in the 200s in their batting average. They can't win with the way they play baseball. They're not going to win the World Series with their style of play. It's not going to happen. They don't hit consistently enough. They strike out 10 plus times a game. They don't come through with men on base. I mean, on-base percentage I get is important, but, walks are overrated. All you get is first base with a walk. That's not going to drive in runs all the time. You really need to emphasize. I hate it when people downplay batting average. Batting average is extremely important to me. It's still one of the stats that I look at when it comes to evaluating a ball player.
Right.
And when I look at the Yankees roster up and down and I see a lot of guys hitting below 220, I don't feel good about my team's chances at all. And with the way that they've played in postseason in previous years, why should I feel any different this year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're spot on, right. I feel like the two to me is batting average and OPS, and that's it. I mean, WRC plus, I'm okay with because that's obviously seeing what you are as league average.
How do you even calculate that?
What?
How do you even calculate our WRC plus?
I can tell you off the air, but
yeah, these stats. Get the hell out of here with some of these stats.
Yeah, I mean, to me, most important is just still on base percentage. What percent of the time are you getting on? That is most important, and then below that is batting average to me. The two go intertwined, but I think those are the two most important offensive stats.
But also, how you get
and low key, kind of also at the same time, strikeout rate I think is really important.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Just right.
Also, hits.
Yeah.
You have something in your hands that's called a bat. You use the bat to hit the ball. It's there for a reason. How many hits are you getting a season?
Yeah. Also, though, while we're talking about Yankee trade deadline, I wanted to ask Ryan this because he wasn't on last week. How do you feel that this is the first time Cashman didn't go get a reliever since 2019 at the deadline?
I mean, honestly, the Yankee bullpen, for the most part, has been pretty solid this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually gotten better as the year has gone on. I mean, Brent Hedrick and Paul Blackburn have been revelations, and David Bednar's finally pitching like a really reliable closer after getting off to such a tough start this year. So, I mean, I say that now. I'm watching blow some games down the stretch. But, yeah, I mean, overall, I think the bullpen is the least of the Yankees' worries. I really think they needed to do more to that lineup. The lineup is just it's killing the Yankees. And it's the biggest reason why they are as far back behind the Rays as they are. The Rays hit, the Yankees don't.
All right, before we get into our who's hot, who's not, we want to give a quick overall shout out to the football forecast. Looking at your recon radar, there's a massive storm brewing, and it's bringing a heavy downfall of sharp picks and cold hard spreads. Forget the boring old school program coverage. This in your granddaddy's regular NFL talk show. You need the ultimate weekend outlook before you lay down a single dollar, and that means turning into the football forecast on the Empty the Bench Network. Yes, folks, football is around the corner. Lead meteorologist and football insider Johnny Montalbano and the entire ETB football crew, and including myself, break down every matchup on the board, from high-pressure defense to low-temperature upset alerts. They're delivering 100% chance of high-value picks against the spread. Don't get caught in the rain on Sunday. Caught the football forecast every Friday during the NFL season at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on the Empty the Bench Network. Get your forecast, track the lines, and weather the storm all weekend long, premiering September 11th on the Empty the Bench Network. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. Football's coming around. I cannot wait. David will also be on the show as well, too, for that. So I'm looking forward to doing that with him as well. Okay, folks, let's get into who is hot and who is not. At this point in time, listen, we could do teams, we could do players. But really, at this point in time of the year, we can really kind of do whatever. So I guess I'll go to Ryan, because Ryan, of course, we missed you last week. Who's your hot and who's your not for this week?
All right, well, I guess I'll start with my who's not. I kind of gave that away to you off the air. And I've been waiting to give it to this guy. I probably should have given it to this guy a lot sooner. But Jazz Chisholm, oh boy, does he ever be the who's not this week for me. And honestly, he's been utter dog crap all year long for the Yankees and does not deserve any kind of long-term contract for the way he's played this year. Mr. Chisholm completed another three strikeout performance today against the Mariners. Overall, he is hitting .216. May I remind you that Jazz Chisholm is 28 years old. For a guy who is athletic and is in his prime as he is, there is no excuse to be hitting .216 as low as he is right now, especially for a second baseman. He is selling out for home runs constantly. He is swinging out of his shoes. He has no plate discipline whatsoever. No. And he is killing the Yankee offense. He is without a shadow of a doubt one of the biggest culprits for the Yankees' anemic offense this year. So he's a guy who's not for me. And another who's not for me, a guy with a little bit of a lesser profile, but who had a father, a very high profile, Cody Clemens from the Minnesota Twins, who has been ice cold recently as the Twins are trying to stay in it with the White Sox for the American League Central. Over his last 7 games, Cody Clemens is hitting just .120 with 3 hits in his last 25 at-bats. Over his last 15, 143 with just 2 home runs. That also was 8-4-56 in that span. So Cody Clemens and Jazz Chisholm, the two of them, the dynamic duo of who's not for me this week. So congrats to both of them. And then for who's hot, I did bring him up briefly when I was talking about the Yankees. David Bednar, I got to give him props. He's pitched much better, and he's really having a really good season for the Yankees. He has really turned it on, and he's been solid. He has an ERA of 2.56, and over his last 15 games, he has an ERA of 1.62, and he hasn't blown a save in a while as well. So you got to give it to Bednar. He's having a good year.
All right, so I'll go next. And obviously, these are two guys in our division, Ryan, the Tampa Bay Rays. My who is hot number one. My who is hot number one is Liam Hicks, the newcomer for the Rays. I was reading that he has had more hits than more whiffs so far in his tenure so far with the Rays. This was a great pickup for them. I know the Yankees were looking at him. The Red Sox were looking at him. Of course, he goes to the Rays, and he just goes crazy. You know, he's essentially going to kill us. I don't know what to say. And then Chandler Simpson. This guy is the epitome of Tampa Bay Ray. He does not hit for power at all, but he's just a bat-to-ball guy. He's essentially this year's Billy Hamilton, a guy that's just going to put the ball and just use that flashing speed. Let's see here. Since Saturday, 2 hits, 4 hits, 2 hits, and 2 hits. I mean, that's what I'm talking about.
He reminds me of Juan Pierre.
That's a great comp too. And I mean, Ryan, of course, you're just talking about contact. This, of course, would be a type of example of a guy that the Yankees, of course, maybe would. Honestly, anybody would need a guy that could hit power, but like he's a damn good ball player. Chandler Simpson. Hate that he's in our division. I hate it. And then my who is not Gunnar Henderson. I've said him before. My gosh. That's one that I don't know if he's gonna turn around at this point. 214, just not getting it done. And then guys, I mean, it's Manny Machado at the end of his career at this rate in terms of him being a consistent good ball player. I mean, 213. He's batting. We're talking about averages. Manny Machado, 213. And I mean, he's 34 years old, of course. I mean, of course, maybe it's a little bit higher, but 23 homers and a 710 OPS. I mean, he essentially is kind of like Vladdy at this rate. I mean, he's hitting a lot more homers, but he's kind of a homer nothing type of player at this point of his career. So those are my two who is not, is Gunnar and Machado, two guys that were very good a couple of years ago. So it's crazy to say. But Nate, I'll go to you next.
My who is not is someone who you might not realize is on the verge of making all the wrong kinds of history. That man's name is Ke'Bryan Hayes, former Pirate, now Cincinnati Red. The record for the lowest single-season batting average for a player with at least 200 plate appearances is 132 by a guy named Bill Bergen, who posted that in 227 at-bats for Brooklyn in the year 1911. Ke'Bryan Hayes is at 167 at-bats this year, and he is hitting 138.
I mean, the crazy part too is Nate is, I mean, for him, like league average is like, he's like maybe like a 220, 235 hitter. So he's not even hitting league average. Like he's essentially on the massive.
He's hitting like 100 points below league average.
Yeah.
Like this is just, I didn't read this until yesterday. So I knew like, this is not like this just started this week. He's been bad this week. He's been historically bad all season. And I honestly don't know if it's a worse look. Obviously it looks terrible on Ke'Bryan Hayes if he can't hit the ball, but how are the Reds still putting him in the lineup to hit? Like bat your pitcher at that point.
Yeah.
Like the average batting average of pitchers, I think, was probably above 138. So you're saying if you just pitch your starter, you got a better odds of him getting on than Ke'Bryan Hayes right now. That's how bad this is. And I don't want the guy to have the worst batting average ever in a single season, but also I kind of want to see something happen that hasn't happened in 115 years. I'm torn.
another guy too. And I mean, I keep on saying all year, but it's so crazy to think. I mean, Cal Raleigh. I mean, the Yankees just played him this week run. I mean, of course, I haven't seen a lot of his at bats, but every single time I'm just seeing all the wrong things. Of course, a guy like, granted, I didn't think, of course, he was going to be as good as he was last year. Don't get me wrong. But we talk about in terms of average and for power. I mean, even before last year, he was like a guy that would still be at league average, hit about 25 plus homers, had about 115, 116 WRC plus. That's over league average the last 3 years beforehand. He just looked brutal right now, both sides of the plate, even defensively. And the Mariners, obviously, we talk about the Mariners, Ryan. I mean, a lot of people were having high hopes for them this year, and part of it was because of what he did last year. And he's just completely – and he said it publicly this week. He said, we are playing very, very, very bad right now, and that starts with me. Yeah, I mean, it happens, but I do not – this downfall has been one of the most surprises out of all baseball this year is Cal.
Me, you, and Dave had the Mariners going to the World Series this year during our preseason predictions. The Mariners are without question, one of the biggest disappointments this year in Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Both American League Championship Series teams from last year, nowhere near the same level as they were last year as they are this year. The Blue Jays and the Mariners have just completely fallen off a cliff.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
And the thing, though, too, is, though, as disappointed as they've been, the AL is still so bad that still somehow, some way, if they can be able to kind of get their offense somehow back in gear some way for a good stretch, it's like, well, here's the Mariners. It's because they still have a very good rotation.
They're
like
3.5 out of the wild card and are the 12th best team in the American League record-wise.
Yeah. So, I mean,
it makes no sense. There are still 12 teams in competition for 6 playoff spots on August 13th. Like, because it's so bad.
I mean, Nate,
really quickly before we end, my who's hot, George Lombard Jr. Not even necessarily for that bat, but the way he's just been playing shortstop defensively is just such a breath of fresh air in terms of the Yankees.
Oh, yeah.
Like the Yankees, in terms of struggling to do simple things like running the bases and play defense, like those things, like especially in their bad Junes, would always seem to be big talking points. Like they can't even do the little things right. He seems like a guy that is consistently good at doing the little things right, which is honestly just something the Yankees need. So I've been loving the call up of Lombard, and it's also nice to finally see a Yankees prospect who isn't held down in the minors for way too long and overhyped and doesn't disappoint. I felt like he ran a perfect course through his minor league tenure, hit the majors at a great time, and Anthony Volpe, I don't think he ever sees the roster again, unless it's like a pinch for an emergency or something.
Well, Volpe at this point, I mean, he just was in a viral video yesterday for the wrong reasons, challenging back-to-back pitches after being up 3-0, and then he laughed after having that second strike to him. So, man, it's just been a roller coaster for him, to say the least. Before we get out of here, folks, I want to give also a quick shout-out to another football show, Forever Power 5. That's going to be coming up pretty soon as well, too. Whether you're back in traditional Big Ten powerhouses or looking for value out west in the Pac-12, college football season is just isn't about wins. It's just about who covers. If you want the sharpest news, deep team breakdowns, and the best against the spread angles before you set your Saturday slate, you need to be locked into the Forever Power 5 on the Empty the Bench Network. Join Big Ten insider Zan Bandown and Pac-12 expert James Myers every week as these two classic conferences get acclimated. Zan and James break down the biggest storylines, analyze matchups, and deliver in the betting edges you need to keep your bankroll in the green. Don't lock in your bets without hearing their take first. Catch Forever Power 5 with Zan Bandone and James Myers every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific Time, right here on the Empty the Bench Network, premiering August 26th, which of course is coming up. That is in 13 days from now. Tune in, get the edge, and cover the board only on the Empty Bench Network. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/ETB Network. So, of course, Forever Power 5 is coming up, and football forecast, which, of course, like I mentioned, I'm going to be on that with a bunch of people, of course, Johnny Montalbano Company. So looking forward to all that stuff. Obviously, we did have one comment here on the show. A minus 1.5 batters is discussed. I think that they were mentioned regarding in terms of the 4-out rule. I don't know, but I want to get that comment for whoever was watching. All right, I think we got into everything. Obviously, great show, guys. I think David will be back for next week. I think everybody will be here next week. As a matter of fact, we're getting into almost the end of August, which is going to be crazy to think. And then summer's going to be coming to an end, and we'll be getting closer to fall. And what that means, Ryan, is fall baseball will be coming around pretty soon. It's crazy to think. So looking forward to the remainder of this season and just enjoying it because, like we mentioned for a lot of times, the next year does not look very promising, at least for as of right now. So that is that for the time being. Before we get out of here, folks, Ryan, any final thoughts before I have my final remarks?
Preseason football starting soon. Go Giants.
Okay, yeah. It started tonight. Nate?
Yeah, same token. Go Steelers and make the Field of Dreams game a complete series. Stop having it be one game. Let's make it a 3-game series. That's something I forgot to say earlier that I wanted to mention. Let's make it a series instead.
And my final thoughts are: it's great to have us finally reach that watch hour mark milestone. I think just in terms of just not only for us, I think just for everybody, because it's been definitely a thing in the works for a long period of time. Like I mentioned, and my read earlier this morning, for the people, of course, that are watching, every single watch, every single like, subscribe, make sure, of course, to hit the notification bell on YouTube. It means the world to us because, of course, what we are trying to do as a network, we're trying, of course, now get to the next milestone within a specific time frame. So, of course, make sure, of course, for people that are watching, maybe for the first time or not, make sure to refer to maybe a friend that hasn't seen us, or, obviously if you're on vacation, of course, want to listen to us, no matter where it is. We, of course, are here to give you all the great coverage, especially during on this show for baseball, but, of course, all the other shows, including the 2 reads that I have with the football shows, of course, coming up. It's a really busy part in terms of what we're doing. And, of course, we want to thank you guys for everything. We cannot, of course, thank you guys enough, and we are very appreciative of that. All right. I think without further ado, guys, thank you guys for not watching another episode of Hidden for the Cycle. Like I mentioned, of course, make sure, of course, to follow us on all of our socials. Of course, you guys know all the shabazz. My name is Ben Kruse, Nate Miller alongside me, and Ryan Touhey. Guys, we will see you all next week. Thank you guys for watching.
Bye-bye.